Have you ever had your heart crushed by missing out on a home that you just love? Well, I've helped hundreds of buyers win multiple offer situations, and I'm here to help you too. And that video is coming right up. Welcome. I'm glad you're back. If this is your first time visiting, my name is Andy Elliott. I work with DeSelms Real Estate here in Williamson County, Tennessee, and we serve the Nashville area. Remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified of new videos as they come along. In this video, you'll find out what makes a seller excited about your offer, and at the end, I've got an important warning on a very risky technique, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. First things first, find a lender. Get your pre-approval letter. Without a pre-approval letter, your chances drop to pretty much zero. I just can't stress this enough. A pre-approval letter gives you a price range that you're comfortable with, and it shows the seller that you're serious and ready to buy. So start there, get that pre-approval letter. Let's get into the psychology of winning a contract. On a list of life's most stressful events, moving to a new house is number 7. Now it is down the list from death, divorce, and marriage. I'm familiar with a couple of those. But understanding and responding to the stress idea is the key to winning a contract. For sellers, deciding to then sell in the family home is tough. It's emotional, it's scary, and at the very least disruptive. In order to win a contract, we have to minimize all 3 of those things. Now, money is important, but it's not the most important thing in every single case. Most of the time, clean contracts get accepted. What a clean contract means is the fewest contingencies possible. And the definition of a contingency is simple. If this contingency, this condition, isn't met, we don't move forward. If there were a formula to winning a contract in a multiple offer situation, this would be it. Offer the most money, or close to it, with the least amount of hassle/risk for the seller. If you'll do that, your chances are really good that you're going to win a contract. First-time buyers on their first contract rarely subscribe to this formula, and they lose out. Speaking of subscribing, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, will you? And buyers that have been beat out a couple of times, they fully embrace the formula, and they're tough to beat. The reason is they give sellers what they want, and they don't ask for very much. That is a winning strategy on winning a contract. Now that we have a foundation in place, we've got a lender letter, we understand how the seller thinks, and we've got a winning formula, let's take the steps to write a clean contract. First, if you have an agent, have your agent call the listing agent and ask the seller what's most important to them. If the listing agent is willing to talk, then fashion your offer around those answers. That's important. Second is a financial contingency. In the state of Tennessee, we have the right to waive financial contingencies. I suppose that's the case elsewhere. But don't do that. It's unnecessary, and it's very important to keep you safe. Keep that financial contingency in place. If you can get the buyer to believe you're not going to nitpick them to death with a bunch of repairs, you've gone a long way to winning a contract. Be sure to share this idea with the listing agent. Now, you can buy the property as is. What that means is you retain home inspection rights, but the seller doesn't have to make any repairs. But if during the inspection you find a deal breaker, you can still ask them to address it. Many times they'll fix it rather than starting over with a new contract with a new buyer. I have seen that work a bunch of times. If the home you're interested in is pushing the envelope price-wise, waiving an appraisal can help. But understand there's absolutely a risk. If you're paying cash, you can waive the appraisal. If you're getting a loan, most of the time you just can't. In a competitive offer situation, asking a seller for closing costs is pretty much a deal killer. It's about all there is. But if you feel like you need help with closing costs, talk to your lender. They may have options. When it comes to closing dates, this is a big deal for the seller. If you can make their life a little bit easier by accommodating their move-out, move-in schedule, the sellers will love you for it. Here's a couple things I like to call sweeteners. It's like icing on the cake. In Tennessee, it's pretty common for the seller to pay for title expenses. If your offer includes you, the buyer, paying those title expenses, your offer chances just increased on being accepted. Another thing is a home warranty. A lot of times buyers will ask the seller to pay for a home warranty and they're like $650. If you do not ask for that, again, your chances just increased. Sweeteners. Write a letter. Believe it or not, I've seen a bunch of sellers accept an offer for less money from a buyer who writes a letter pledging their love for the house. This emotion is strong for some sellers. They love their house and they want the buyer to love it too. Just write a letter to them telling your family's future plans on filling that home with light and love and laughter and Thanksgiving and Christmas. And you may be surprised by the response. I've been surprised a lot of times. All the steps and approaches that we talked about today are designed for one thing, and that's to make it easy for the seller to say yes to your offer. But just understand this, sometimes sellers are all about the bottom line and the highest price wins. Don't be disappointed with that. You've put your best foot forward and good for you. The warning I was talking about is an escalation clause. Simply put, an escalation clause means, Mr. Seller, I'll give you $1,000 over your highest offer up to a certain amount. Well, my office doesn't allow for that, and I'm really glad. Here's why. At least, that's a sketchy way to get a contract. At worst, it's illegal, because in some form or fashion, the seller's got to reveal to you what their highest offer was. Not supposed to do that. Or you have to believe what they tell you their highest offer was. So that gets ugly pretty quick. Escalation clauses. I don't recommend it, but if you're going to do it, make sure you know 100% what you're getting into. Be sure to watch my video on solving the down payment puzzle. Remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified of new videos as they come along. Leave a comment, give me a like, will you? Talk to you soon.